Hey, this is Sean with another episode of Cajun Smoke. What we're doing today is we're going to make an after the ball soup. I've seen plenty of recipes, and I tell you they're not getting it right. I see people wanting to fry their sausage and fry their onions from the ball. Well, if you fry it, you're changing the taste of everything. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show y'all how Cajun Smoke does. Okay, so first of all, we have 4 sticks of butter in here. Okay? I'm kind of tilting this tripod a little bit so y'all can see. Okay? So now let's get that up a little bit so y'all can see in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we got that butter going. Got 4 sticks of unsalted butter. Next, we're going to add just a cup of flour. Okay? We're going to go ahead. What we're doing with this is we're going to make a butter roux. We're not doing a gumbo, so we're not going to make an oil roux. We're going to make a butter roux. And I can see that that's not enough, so what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little bit more to it. That's how we're doing cooking. I'm trying to measure for y'all. I usually don't measure. I usually just eyeball it, but, you know, here, we'll put another half a cup in there. We just want to make sure it's almost like a pudding. That's the only way I can describe it. Okay, so we're going to put that on about 3. All right, so we're going to cook that down for probably about 5 minutes. We're going to get a nice kind of brownish color, not burnt, but just a nice brownish color. So we got our roux done over here, and you can see it's like an almond color almost. It's almost smells like popcorn, you know. So let me just give y'all a little close up of that. So now we got all of our stuff, all of our goodies, all there laid out, ready to go. Got everything cut up already. I didn't figure y'all would want to watch me cut up everything. I think that's a little much. So what we got, when we do our bowl, we put hot dogs, we put the little smokies in. Sometimes we put Hillshire. Well, right here you can see I'm a little bit over 4 cups. So we're just going to dump all that sausage in there. And we're going to stir it up real good, as you can see. You know, if we're not frying it. You fry the sausage, you're going to change the taste of it. And it's not going to taste like an after the ball soup. I'm sorry, everybody's got their own opinion. I know they got some cookbooks out that just came out not too long ago by different people, and to me it changes the taste of it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cook this down a little bit. Probably we're going to give it, you know, the sausage isn't going to fall apart like the mushrooms and the onions and all will. So we're going to probably give this about 10 or 15 minutes, just so we get them, you know, good and cooking. And then what we're going to do after that, we'll add our onions, and then we have some corn and some potatoes. Everything is cooked, so it's not going to take real long to put it in here and cook more. So the basic thing is after everything is done, is when we put that half and half and the crawfish broth in it that we made, it's just going to set this over the top. All right, everybody, it's been 10 minutes. You can see the roux got a little bit thicker. We got our sausage cooking real nicely. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, got a little bit over 4 cups of the shucked boiled corn. We're gonna put that in next because the kernels are still, you know, a little hard. They're not soft. Stir that all in good. Man, if they had smell-o-vision, I'd be in trouble. All right, and we're on a medium-low heat. I'm on an electric stove, so I'm on 3. So what we're going to do now is we put that corn in. We want to soften up that corn a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the cover on this time. All right, the sausage, we wanted it to cook and, you know, cook some of the water out from the butter. So we didn't put the cover on. This time we want that corn to soften up. So we're going to put it on, and we're going to give it 10 more minutes on this. All right, so we've been going for 10 minutes. Go ahead and stir that up a little bit. All right. So now we got our mushrooms, onions, and celery. And so you know we got a lot of that. You always have a lot of that. So there's 4 cups. I'm measuring for y'all because I would just dump this in. Okay, so there we go. There's another 4 cups. Got 8 cups of mushrooms, onions, garlic, and celery. I mean, look at that. You're going to have a whole lot of soup with this. Now, granted, I'm making a big old batch. You could just make it whatever you have. You're just going to have to cut this recipe down, which you know is pretty easy to do. So we're going to put this cover on. We're going to put this on for another 10 minutes. And I know we keep going 10 minutes at a time, but we want everything to soften up. The corn takes a little while. The onions and the celery and all, not so much. Then we're going to add, after this for 10 minutes, we got our potatoes left, and then we got our crawfish and our shrimp. And you know those don't take long at all. We don't want anything to dissolve. We kind of want everything in it so you could taste everything. So we got 10 minutes on this, and then we're going to come back and we're going to add the potatoes in. All right, guys. Got all of this smothered down for 10 more minutes. Just stir it. Man, this smells so good. And remember to keep stirring your stuff. Don't just put it on for 10 minutes and not come stir it. You got to make sure it doesn't stick. Okay. So we got the onions and the celery and the garlic and the mushrooms in there. So now what we're going to do, we got 4 cups of the chopped potatoes. Go ahead and put that in there. And then we're going to put our crawfish and shrimp too. Now you could do this just with just the crawfish, just the shrimp. But it just so happened that we did crawfish and shrimp. So we're going to use both of them. I got a few falling on the side, but that's all right. That's just to show y'all we got 4 cups of ball crawfish. And I'm pretty sure we should have 2 cups of the shrimp, which we do. That's 2 cups. I already chopped them into like 3 so they're not so big, because these are some pretty big shrimp. So what I did is I just cut them with the scissors into 3. So we can put that in. Now let's go ahead and we're going to stir all of this. Okay. Now, here's the kicker on what we're going to do. All right. What we did is we made some crawfish broth, which I did in a previous episode when we did some crawfish stew. Same thing. We just boiled the crawfish heads for an hour. And I did strain everything so we didn't have any shells or anything. So what we have here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 2 cups of that broth in right now. Just enough the way we can get the bottom moist, because we don't want anything to stick. Okay? There we go. And you can see it's with the onions and the mushrooms and everything. Almost looks like a paste almost. But that's all going to be, and the flour and the butter, but you can see all of this is going to all separate once we put the remaining of the crawfish broth and then the half and half. Okay, so we put this in. We're going to go ahead, we're going to move this down to 2. It was on 3. We're going to put it on 2. And we're going to do this for 15 minutes. Okay, we just want to make sure the potatoes and everything get good. We did turn the heat down a little bit. We could put it for 15. You know, come back every, 4 to 5 minutes, stir it. Make sure you're not sticking. And then when we come back, we're going to put all the broth in there. And then once that cooks down a little bit, then we're going to put that half and half. Which, that's where the good stuff comes in. All right. So we're back again. Oh, this is looking good. Now just remember, I stir every 3 to 5 minutes. If not, it can cause it to stick. So now, we're ready for our broth. Got our good crawfish broth right here. You can see I got 4 quarts I'm dumping in right now. And we're going to see how that looks. That's looking pretty good. Let's stir all of this. Get everything good. Oh, yeah. But I'm looking. We need a little bit more, I think. I mean, we did make it. And that is a lot of meat and stuff. So right here, I have just about 2 more quarts here. We're dumping that in. So we got 6 quarts total. Okay. Look at all that. Now comes the most important step of all. Cajun smoke season it all. We got to put a little bit in there. We're just going to sprinkle it on the top. Bam. Done. Let's stir that all in. And now remember, when you do a seafood boil, I always add a bottle in myself of whatever seafood boil you're using. Which I do have a video coming out on how I do my crawfish boil and my seafood bowls. Okay? So now what we want to do is we're going to put that on high. We want that to come to a boil. When we come to a boil, we're going to let it boil for about 5-10 minutes, maybe 20. I need to look and then see how it's looking. Make sure, you just got to make sure nothing is falling apart. Your potatoes are still kind of whole. You don't want everything just falling apart. Then, when we know everything is good, then we're going to add our half and half to it. That's when this pot's going to fill up. But you can see we have a lot of shrimp and and crawfish and corn. So this is going to be a big old pot. All right, so we're going to let this come to boil. When it comes to a boil, we're going to go ahead and we're going to let it boil, like I said, between 10 and 20 minutes. And then we're going to come back at 10 minutes and we're going to check the potatoes and I'll make sure they're just not falling apart. If it's going to fall apart, then we got to add our half and half in. All right, so it's been 10 minutes. We had it come to a boil. So what I want to do here is I want to check out one of these potatoes. Okay, see it's kind of, do the fault test. It goes through real good and it breaks up like that. Okay, that's enough. So we don't need to cook it down anymore because we don't want it just falling apart. If you want it falling apart, cook it a little bit longer. Here comes the best part of everything, the fattening stuff, the half and half. Yeah, let's try that to the side. All right, so we have, this is a big pot with all of that stuff. We have 32 ounces of half and half. So it is a little fattening, but you can see a half a gallon. Yeah, we'll stir that one up. Look at that. Now that's what you're gonna look like right there. We got no stickage on the bottom because we keep stirring. So now what we're going to do, you can see all of that butter at the top too, with all of that yellow. That's that good butter in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this. I'm going to put this on 4, so that's a little bit above a medium on an electric stove, of course. And we're going to cook this down just a little bit. We're going to keep stirring, but we go check every 10 minutes till it gets just a little bit thicker. Because right now, you can see, let me show you. Let me get my ladle out. You can see right now, okay, we're really loose. Okay, we don't want it really loose like that. We want it, it's almost going to be, I kind of like it, it's almost like a bisque almost. It's not going to be runny like you just saw, but it's not going to be it's not going to be thick like a stew, or it's going to be thicker than a gumbo, but less than a stew. I don't even know how you would describe it. But it's going to be a little bit thicker than this because that's just like running water. Okay, so like I said, we got that on 4. We're going to let that cook down a little bit more, and it's going to thicken up with all of that nice roux that we have in there. You can already see it's starting to bubble. Let's see, can you see that bubble? It's already starting to bubble a little bit. So I'm going to tell you, about every 3 to 4 minutes, stir it. Because it can start sticking. Now this is an expensive pot here, but any pot's going to stick if something just stuck to the bottom. So we just going to keep stirring. And let's give this, we're going to come back in 10 minutes. And we're going to check it, and we're going to see the thickness consistency. Okay, here we are with 10 minutes. Just like I said, we're going to stir this real good. Ooh, this smells so good. Good Lord, that's a good smell. All right, so let's see. We're a little bit thicker. It's not like water, but it's still got to go. It's still got to go a good bit. So we still on 4 right now. I'm gonna put it on 5, which is basically, that's gonna be a medium heat if you got a gas stove. I wish we did, but you know, hey. What we're gonna do here is I'm gonna let this cook. We're not gonna keep coming back and back and back. This is gonna do it for 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna set my timer here for 20 minutes. And it's pretty much, I think it's gonna be done, almost done at 20 minutes. But remember, every 3 to 5 minutes, come stir it. You don't want stickage at the bottom. So I'm stirring it right now again, just to make sure, and I'm feeling the bottom. And let me tell you, I don't know if you've ever found one. You can order them online, or some of the kitchen supply places have them. It's this right here. See, this spoon has, put it on the side so you can see it. It doesn't have a round edge. It's got a square cutoff. So that right there is great for scraping the bottom if you have to. Not that you want to, but it is a lot easier than a pointed rounded spoon. This just makes life so much easier. When I found this, it's just, this is all I use now, is that squared off edge. Well, you know, sometimes you get a stickage. You know, it's going to happen. So we're going to come back in 20 minutes. We're going to let that cook down. You can see it's looking really, really good. All right. You can see we got it. We boiling good here. And of course, it is going to take a little bit longer to get thicker because we got so much. This is a big old soup pot here. Okay, so we've been stirring it about every 5 minutes. Make sure it don't stick to the bottom. All right, so let's see. You can see it is thicker, but I still want to get it a little bit thicker. So here's the point that is your preference. Okay, I like mine just a little bit thicker. So I'm going to keep it going a little bit. We still on 5. I'm going to put it down to 4. And I'm going to come back every 5 minutes when I stir to check and see if I've gotten any thicker and if it's the consistency I want. Now, whatever you're doing, if you want the consistency thinner, thicker, you just got to keep cooking it down a little bit. I wouldn't boil it, but I would put it, you know, on a medium heat and just, you know, like I said, it's looking good. It's not thick, it's not thin, but it's still good. I think it still needs to cook down a little bit for me, but it might be perfect for you. So it's all on what you like. You're not going to get that from a cookbook or anything like that. I'm going to tell you how it is. So we go keep this. I'm gonna cook this for a little bit longer, and I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna keep videoing it. I'm gonna show y'all the difference on when it gets a little bit thicker and how I like it. So it's entirely up to you how thick or thin you want it. All right, so we put it for another 10 minutes, like I told y'all, and it's a pretty good consistency there. You can see that looks pretty good. Like I said, it's just all what you like. And so I'm just going to put a little bit in the bowl here so everybody can see. You know it's going to be hot, right? So let's, hey, how y'all doing? All right, let me pick this up right there. So let's see. I'm gonna back up so y'all can see this. Look at that. You got your corn in there. You got your sausage, your onions. So let's say I got some corn right there in it. Let me get one with the little sausage there. That right there, that's the bomb. Now I will say with this soup, I did find out from my son that he doesn't like soup too much. He put it over rice. And he said it was awesome. So you know what? Here's a new idea. Take your after the ball soup, put it over rice or put it over pasta. Why not, right? And so, you know, check out our Facebook, Cajun Smoke LLC. Check out our YouTube, our TikTok, and our Instagram. It's going to be at the beginning and end of this video. Y'all subscribe to us. Y'all check us out. You know, we're just a little business that's trying to make it like everybody else. And the more y'all subscribe and like and follow, the more we can just promote our Cajun Smoke. So, y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all a little bit later.